2 Kings 4, verse 6. When the vessels were full, she said to her son, "Bring me another vessel." And he said to her, "There is not another." Then the oil stopped flowing. So this story was about a woman who was the wife of a prophet. Well, she was now his widow. And he died leaving major debts which she couldn't pay. Now, of course, she was being threatened to lose the house she was in, and even her sons, who would be sold into slavery to pay the debts. She ran to the prophet and she asked him, "Help me, please." And he says to her, "What do you have in your house?" She says, "Nothing except a little oil." He says, "Good. Go and borrow vessels, not a few." Now, first of all, did you notice her answer was? Nothing. Because the little oil she had seemed so insignificant that she didn't consider it to be important in the scheme of things. The debt she had to pay or repay was so enormous that clearly what she had was nothing. Have you ever felt like that? Have you ever felt like the resources you have are just too insignificant to even be considered in the midst of that real problem you're facing? Well, I don't know about you, but I've had those days. I've had those days where really I have some things, but clearly that's not to be considered right now. This problem is way more than that. But the prophet asks, "What do you have in your house?" The Lord always ensures that whatever we need, we already have before the trouble comes. The problem we have is that we are not looking with enough faith in our house. But the verse that I read, I really want to zero in on that verse. Because the story was, she went and she borrowed vessels from all her neighbors. Now, by the way, that is just almost creepy. If you think psychologically, that is really supposed to put you in a state of even further depression and mental trauma. I am already in problem because of debts. It is because of the debts that I cannot repay that I'm coming to you. And then you tell me to go and borrow also? I don't know. Have you ever felt like God is telling you to do something impossible? Have you ever felt like the answer you get from God is really going to put you into a bigger problem? Well, thank God, she trusted the prophet enough. She went and she borrowed vessels. So it was no debt on top of debt. But that's not how the story ends. She was told to go into a room, close the door with her sons, and pour the oil that she had into the vessels that she borrowed. And she started doing that. And the great miracle, the more she poured, the more she had. And so each vessel got filled, and I can just see the boys putting it aside, stacking it, and she's still pouring and pouring and pouring. And then guess what? I heard when she asked, "Give me another vessel." And the boy says, "Mom, no vessels left." Then the oil stopped. So what determined how much oil she had? How many vessels she borrowed? But then what determined how many vessels she borrowed? her expectation for a miracle. Her capacity was equal to her expectation. There was no limit on how much she could have except how much she would believe for and expect. I wonder, are we limiting our blessings by expecting too little? Is there anything too hard for God? I don't know about you, but I've got some expectations I'm planning to just turn up, because I refuse to limit my miracle by too small an expectation. Nothing is impossible with God. So, I really am looking forward to hear your thoughts on this one. And probably some testimonies. Because he's the same God yesterday, today, and forever. He changes not. He's working according to our expectations. The blessings of the Most High God be upon you. Bless you richly and abundantly. May your faith be increased and your blessings more than you can contain. I look forward to your comments. Like, share, comment. Let's have a robust discussion on this. Tell me your story. Tell me your testimonies. Let's talk about your thoughts on the matter. Be good. Have a great time. And ensure you join me again tomorrow as we look at something more from the scriptures.